All right, welcome to Cop Talk Live, changing cop culture. It's 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Eastern here outside in the Chicago area. For Eastern, if you're on the East Coast. We do this every Wednesday night live, right? We talk all things law enforcement. If this is the first time you're joining, I'm a retired police officer from up here in the state of Illinois, northwest suburbs, and I love law enforcement, but I can't stand the way that the culture is lately, and I'm extremely critical on it. Every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, and 6 Pacific. We take your calls, we take your emails, all the stuff that you guys send me. Call, text, voice note. I play voicemails, whatever you guys send in. And we try to solve the problems in changing cop culture. 708-982-0974 is the number on the bottom of the screen if you see that. That's 708-982-0974. I'm going to catch up on an email, or a voicemail, excuse me. And then let's have a conversation tonight about some stuff. Okay. All right, let's hear what this has to say.
If this is Cop Talk Live, have something you might want to look into. It has to do with the police departments seeming to think that they always need to arrest a man if they're called out on a PFMA, even if nobody was assaulted or anything. Something you might want to think about looking into. Their procedures are bullshit.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate that. I'll have to give that another look at it. I'm not familiar with any of it. And I can appreciate the position you guys get in. Guys, I wish to God, I could solve all the problems out there. And I know that, I'm one of the only guys out here on social media that has law enforcement experience and is not going to like glorify what you guys all think, right? I'm not going to talk about the nonstop of the shootings and the chase and the stabbings. I'm going to talk about the day-to-day law enforcement content that's real. I mean, I'm talking the stuff that's important to everybody else. Because for the most part, what do? We glorify the chases, the vehicle pursuits, the stabbings, the shootings, the use of force, and the people who are interacting with cops when life is important to them, where I don't know what the case is. You got your dog is somebody, I don't know, somebody kidnapped your dog. Somebody destroyed your mailbox. Somebody keyed your car. And it's important to you, but it's not necessarily important to others out there. That's the shit where you're going to have the interactions with the cops that seems like they just don't care. And yeah, all the way up to the stabbings and the shootings and the vehicle pursuits and all that garbage. But for the love of God, we have to talk about cop culture across the board. We have to talk about changing it, putting the value on actually doing the job and treating the small stuff like the stolen UPS package off your porch or the arson, the criminal damage to property, the theft, and the domestics as serious as it is. All the stuff that's glorified as well too. Yeah, you're live. What's going on? You got to lower that background. Can you hear me? All right, well, I appreciate you listening to me. We'll call you back in for a second because you got that on there. Guys, 708-982-0974. I'll try to take your calls in order. There's no real order to stuff. I take your calls. We look at content. We have conversations.
Hello?
Hey, sorry. There was a delay going on in the background, and I know you were listening, so I had to call you back. What's going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to add my TV on while I was listening to you.
That's fine.
I just got a quick question.
Yeah.
Regarding that video we've all seen of the unaliving of that prisoner, all these state troopers in New York have seen this, correct? On video.
Go ahead.
Isn't that enough probable cause for one of them to make the arrest?
I have a rule. Please, I do not want stupid common sense statements or questions said on a live stream where the obvious answer is in both of our faces and we look like assholes for not being able to answer it.
Understood.
So what you're talking about is the Robert Brooks lynching and murder by correctional officers. And I know we get a lot of people who are condemning it and they're going, it shouldn't have happened and they should be fired. No, in my opinion, if I had the emperor staff of the world, and I'm all about due process. I complained today about sheriffs, and I'll get in this for a second, sheriffs like Grady Judd, taking people they arrest and parading them all over social media and denying their due process. I still believe that though everyone involved in that scene deserves due process, but if convicted, I think they should all be shot in the face and publicly executed with capital punishment. I don't know. You tell me how all you need to make a righteous arrest is probable cause. I mean, that would sound pretty accurate, right? I don't know if you have any law enforcement experience.
I don't. I'm just a civilian.
Okay.
I'm a law-abiding citizen. I support good police officers. I'm about law and order. I'm with you. I hate what cops are doing now.
So if let's walk through this together. If I was a cop still and you knew I had probable cause, the way that this blows me away is there's misdemeanors and there's felonies. And at least in the state of Illinois, I do not know how it works in other counties. I worked in Lake County, Illinois, which is just above Cook. And in my opinion, it's more corrupt because nobody pays attention to it. If I arrested you on a retail theft, I took you into custody, and the threshold when I was a cop, I believe the amount was, I think it was either $300 or $150 was the threshold to where it was a felony or it was a misdemeanor. Let's say you stole $299 worth of merchandise. Well, that's a misdemeanor. I write you a court date. Typically, it was the Monday, 30 days from where it was. I sent you to courtroom, I think it was 405 is where I sent you to Waukegan to go to court. And that starts the process. I give you a non-traffic ticket. It's a citation. You bond out either $100 because it was $1,000 bond, 10% applies, or it was a signature bond. And most of the time we gave people I bonds, individual recognizance bonds, and you go about your way. Now, if it was a felony, you stole $300 or you stole $3,000, I take you into custody. Still, I take you into custody. I read you your Miranda warnings. We have a conversation. You confess to it. I can't charge you. I have to contact the on-call state's attorney, and then I have to read all the facts and the evidence I have in that case. And the state's attorney is the one who makes the final decision of whether or not criminal charges are brought. We call it felony. We call it felony denial because so many times the state's attorney only wants cases that they can win, so they would go, just knock it down to a misdemeanor and send them on their way. So the people don't understand how cops do so much hard work, and a lot of times it's the courts that go, no, man, we're not doing it. So in this specific case, you have a clear felony. Right? If anything, it would be aggravated battery because it's a state personnel who's using deadly force on a handcuffed inmate. You can kind of associate the aggravating factors to make it aggravating, and you could instantly. I do not know. I have no clue why. The first day you're gonna make an investigation going on because you're a cop and you're like, okay, these are correctional officers. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because they would never do something like this. But once that evidence comes out and you see that, why are they waiting for the state to do anything? Why has not one cop gone and taken one of them into custody? Or 10 cops gone and taken all of them into custody? They have every lawful authority. State police, the municipal police, or the county. You have state troopers, county sheriff, and municipal. Any one of them could have walked up to all these guys at home and put them in cuffs and said, we have all the probable cause. Take them back to the police station, hold them for 72 hours, and pressure the state to do criminal charges. Because if it was you, you would have been in handcuffs. He was murdered on December 9th. You would have been in handcuffs on December 9th. But the rest of us, that's how that goes.
Thank you very much. My name was Kevin Gordon, by the way, and I just thought, because I saw Sean from Long Island, I thought I'd go up there and interview those guys, and it just blew me away.
Yeah, and I understand. It really sucks because, we always talk about humanizing the badge. You get like Mike the Cops movement, humanizing the badge, and I can't stand it because, like, you want to be human, you gotta be human first. You want to be humanized, and a lot of people are like, well, because Sean kept asking them to condemn it, and they can't say shit. And it kills me because all that they had to do is go, listen, by department policy, I will lose my job if I give an opinion. But I just, you know what? I would love to say how I feel about this, but right now I focus on keeping my job, bettering the profession. I cannot make a statement. It's against department policy for me to offer any opinion in uniform while as a representative of the state. But if you want to get a hold of me when I'm off of my off-duty time, here's where I live. I'll meet you for a beer and I'll give you my personal statement. But yeah, it's what Sean does, man. Sean's got huge fucking balls. He's got huge balls.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. I couldn't do it. I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, I respect the shit out of him.
You guys all a lot of credit. You guys put yourselves out there and open to the world, and I support all of it.
Well, Sean does. I don't. Sean does. Sean and the other auditors, First Amendment auditors, they're going out there. They're dealing with some unhinged cops who, you know what, they're going to risk their freedom and, you know, they do something wrong and, oh my God, he's got a gun. And then that's it for me. You know, I'm behind the scenes. So I respect the shit out of what Sean and what all the other First Amendment auditors do.
Well, Dominic, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me, man. And I'm just going to keep on watching and supporting you, man.
I appreciate that. Please share the videos, get this stuff out there, help us grow.
Will do, man. Will do. You have a great evening,
you
sir.
Too.
All right.
Guys, don't forget, you can help the channel grow by sharing all the content, liking it if you're new, comment. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. You could order my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. There's a link in the description to order from Amazon or from Barnes & Noble or wordsmatterpublishing.com. There's also a link to donate and sponsor the channel through PayPal at Cop Talk Live. Another call. Let's see. Sorry, I missed your call. Let's, Kalamazoo calling you back.
Hello.
Hey, sorry, I missed your call. What's going on?
Nothing much. We want to talk about how to file a criminal complaint and build an equity as opposed to just a criminal complaint. There's a difference.
Oh, I'm curious. You go ahead.
Okay. So on a complaint, you just filed a complaint. If they violated the law, the Constitution, they've done something criminal. You have to file a criminal complaint, and you can do it against anybody if you see a crime.
So you're talking about like filing, the difference between filing a complaint against a police officer at the station versus filing a criminal complaint against a police officer. Is that what you're referencing?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Listen.
Okay. So you first have to have a friendly letter of correspondence. That's your first page. Your second page is your criminal complaint and bill in equity. Your third page is your bill of particulars. What happened? Line them up. Put at the top of the page, deed of trust, because you got to have a trust that these things that you're putting down on paper and you're going to get them notarized are in fact true. Then you get 3 thumbprints. Okay? 3 thumbprints and your notary, and you take it to not internal investigations, you take it to the county administrator and the commander. Commanders have special instructions on how to handle these things. When you have the bill of particulars tightened, they would not dare go to court. And the 3 signatures, just like in the legislature, you got to have 3 witnesses, 3 thumbprints. They're already guilty. So why would we write a complaint when we can write a criminal complaint? Skip the whole process of going to court. Once they see the bill of particulars and the facts and the 3 signatures, the 3 thumbprints, they're convicted.
You know, the one thing about all this, though, is you know nobody's ever going to enforce it. And that's the problem, is everything you're saying could be, and I'm going to take you at face value for being legitimate, but you know, it's like, man, no one's ever going to enforce this. You could come up with a righteous, lawful, legal process that proves, you know, X, Y, and Z, but who's going to enforce that? I mean, half the cops out there, you know, as we see lately, don't know what the First Amendment is. And we're expecting their superiors, who never hold them accountable, to sit there and go, oh, yeah, you have a lawful, constitutional, federally backed criminal complaint. Sorry, we're not going to. And then what lawyer is actually going to step up to the plate and do something? So it's really frustrating when somebody like you has this knowledge. It's like one of my, there's a friend of mine, Dave Champion, who actually, he was a former police officer and he ran for Nye County Sheriff. And a lot of people know him by Dr. Reality, Dave Champion. And he wrote a book on taxes, and he doesn't pay taxes through a lawful way. And so many people, like it blows me away how few people buy Dave's book, read Dave's advice, and follow it and implement it, because the government is not going to follow through on it. So it's like there's so much information out there that we are probably purposefully kept ignorant on, like this, to prevent the system from ever working properly.
Now, here's the problem, though. Well, here's the solution. I told you, you're taking it to the county administrator, okay? The county administrator is going straight to the county attorney. They know these things, that these billing, criminal complaints and bill inequity, you don't hear about them because they're taken care of quick behind the scenes. That's why it's a criminal complaint. When it's just a complaint, it's just a complaint. Let's go through the internal investigation. Let's take a year. When you've got this here information, damning as it is, ready to file your suit, because what the criminal complaint and bill inequity is full disclosure. Your next step is you don't need to have an attorney. You've proven your case.
Do you ever do any information on this, or you have a YouTube channel where people can find this information? And maybe
I don't have a YouTube channel, but if you call me or text me, I can give you some information.
If you don't mind, I'm going to text you my email later on, and if you could send me some stuff, and let's see what I could do to bring about some kind of change. And I mean, I'd like to research what you're saying, because I'll take it as face value and say, okay, this is legitimate. We just know how it goes. We know that people laugh right in our faces if you do it.
I know it's frustrating, but see, you have a voice, right? You have a platform, okay? You have listeners on this channel right now who are willing to, if something happens, hey, if we don't try anything, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Okay, if we take this information and do nothing, I can promise you exactly what's going to happen. Nothing. If we had a voice like yours to put something on paper, to have an example, because they will settle quickly, as opposed to having what? On your bill of complaints, your bill of particulars, you're telling them that this patrolman has signed an oath to God Almighty and an oath to the Fraternal Order of Police. They don't want that information out in the public. So not every case is subject to being what? Reviewed, because you can't have two oaths. What God do you serve? Do you serve the God Almighty in heaven, where you put your left hand on the Bible? Or do you serve the oath that you took to the Fraternal Order of Police?
Yeah, I see how that's leveraged. I wish they would separate the two as well. And I'm a person of faith, so I never thought about that either. I'm going to text you my email address. I appreciate that. That's some cerebral information to take in, and I'm going to take a look at it. So I appreciate your time.
I hope all your audience listens.
I'll do some content on it, and we'll make them listen. So appreciate
somebody got to file a bill of complaint, criminal complaint.
We'll take a look at it. Thank you for your time. Thank you. All right. Before I get into this, I want to look at this email. Guys, you send me so many emails, and I really appreciate you. I'll look at from Daniel Seraphin. I appreciate that. We're going to take a look at this today. I want to address this quickly. It's been no secret that for the last several weeks, I've been on a hell-bent warpath against female cops. And ladies, I don't know how to tell you this. You are doing more danger on yourselves to the point where someone like me and many, many people out there, including women, hold the opinion you shouldn't be in law enforcement. You're an embarrassment. You're doing this for play and makeup and tutorials, and you're leveraging the badge to highlight your social media. I'm saying this with a level of compassion and care, but also at the same time, you need to be called out, and you need to be made mockery of, and you need to be embarrassed, because maybe you'll step up and go, fuck, what am I doing? I need to stop this clown shit. I've talked to I made it public. Megan McCarthy and I DM'd the other day. I invited her to come on the podcast. This was a week ago, and she said she talked to her lawyer. Haven't heard anything from her. But again, Megan McCarthy was one who made a big stink and cried online about Andy Frisella's comment where, how dare he do this? And her and Andy patched things up. But at the end of my opinion video, she alluded to threatening to sue me if I continue to lump her in categories of such. Officer Haley Mirabelli, former apparent self-proclaimed badass from Chicago PD who moved to Florida, doesn't like what I have to say, says that I'm a danger to female cops. Her boyfriend has to DM me and ask me respectfully to take down content on her. So it's more proof that you women do not have the mental fortitude to back up the illusionary figures you play online. And for your own fucking sake, I'm asking you to stop this. Because what happens is people aren't going to take you seriously like me. People are criminals. They're going to challenge you on the street. And you're going to wind up making an embarrassing fool out of yourself when it comes down to men having to dish you out. This is what you do. This is social media for female cops.
2-hour shift. I know I have an RBF face, but I promise I'm nice and I smile. Here's me in my trabajadora era. I'm on graveyards right now, and this week's my short week. I only work 2 days. I'm putting on some hairspray because the girl looks like she got electrocuted. All right, enjoy me putting on my gear. I'm going to play the song because this is how I feel about going to work today.
Thank God we get to see you putting on your uniform and hearing the life of a female cop. Let's see what else is out there.
Got into Harvard Law.
What, like it's hard?
Wow. Female officers. Okay, too stern, not laughing at your jokes. This is what we're supposed to take you seriously as. I don't understand this. How does this benefit what you guys are doing on the streets when it comes down to serving the citizens you swore an oath to? Do you think they give a shit about how your uniform fits and what you're being, your jokes and you're not laughing at? Ladies, you're fucking making a mockery of this profession. I dated a female cop for a while, and she just, I can't, and that's my personal shit, right? To some of my best friends who are female cops. And I really didn't have a problem with females in law enforcement until the social media shit came around. And trust me, the men, they're no better. But you're not being taken seriously, and somebody has to call you out on it and make you realize that this is what the job is, right? This is what you get paid to do when you're in uniform. Yeah.
Just living.
Females in law enforcement. Hey. Hey, let's go to the range so you can see my ass. Great. What else we got? Yeah. I don't.
So the citation is going to be for the tinted windows, obviously, when I pulled you
This
over.
is somebody else who put it up there. Yeah, okay, I don't need the music. What is the point of all this? This is what law enforcement has been. This is a female cop, but let's take a look at your ass. Trust me, I'm all about the selfies when you're in shape. I'm a narcissist. I know I am. But I'm trying to tell you flat out, I can take care of myself on the street. I bet 99% of you can't. There's not one of you out there that could take me into custody by yourselves. You just can't. And I'm 50, out of shape, and not the biggest guy in the world. This is the stuff, ladies, I'm telling you. I will criticize you. What is the fucking point? What's the point? What are you doing for when it comes down to sitting there actually representing your profession the right way? This is different. Okay, at least they're on the job and they're doing something. Okay, awesome. This. What do we... What you
Don't do that. You understand?
I'm fucking so tired of this stuff.
Everybody asked you to arrest him.
This is so tired. All right. I'm done.
Me, officer.
I'm done ripping on you guys. I'm flat out telling you, you're going to get yourselves killed. You're going to get, and I talk about it. I made a very crude video about Ella French, the Chicago police officer who was murdered on duty. And maybe if her and Mirabelli didn't spend so much time fucking around on social media, updating their statuses and uniforms, just taking selfies, doing videos, maybe taking the job a little bit seriously, she'd be alive today. And I'm dead serious about that. And I refuse to apologize for my stance. I truly think that it was the lack of seriousness in that job that got her murdered. And her partner, her former partner, is to fucking blame. I do blame in contribution Officer Haley Mirabelli for the death of Officer Ella French for not taking the job fucking seriously. But that's what social media is. And I blame Chicago police and I blame everybody else out there for allowing these cops in uniform on social media to fuck around and embarrass themselves. They're children. And if you get a cop killed, what are you going to do to the citizens? How are you going to fail to protect them when it comes out there? So that's my 2 cents on that. I want to look at, again, from Daniel Seraphin sends me, I appreciate you watched the Wing Chun stuff. That's awesome. 2 videos I might be interested in commenting on. Let's take a look at this. Otero County Sheriff Deputy facing murder charges after fatally shooting a teen. Let's give it a listen.
An Otero County Sheriff's deputy is now facing a first-degree murder charge after fatally shooting a Mescalero Apache teenager last summer.
Body camera video shows the deputy shooting 17-year-old Elijah Hadley less than 30 seconds after seeing him along the side of the road. News 13's Madison Connor shows you what happened. A warning, the video is tough to watch.
This is the moment Otero County Sheriff's Deputy Jacob Diaz-Austin spotted 17-year-old Elijah Hadley walking along U.S. Highway 70 east of Tularosa on June 25th of last year.
Stop right there, bro. Stop. Stop. Stop right there.
Video shows Hadley stop and lift his hand to cover his eyes as the deputy asks if he's all right.
What are you doing? Let me see your other hand, bro. Let me see your other hand, dog.
Hadley tosses a gun to the side as the deputy fires 4 times, hitting Hadley.
42 bases, shots fired, shots fired.
Now it was later determined to be a BB gun. Hadley goes on to scream he's dying as Deputy Diaz-Austin runs around to the passenger side to grab the first aid kit.
I'm not hit, subject down.
You can hear Diaz-Austin yell to Hadley not to move or reach for the gun or he will get shot again. Hadley continues to yell it's a BB gun and rolls onto his stomach. The deputy then opens fire again. And seconds later, firing 4 more shots.
I can't render aid. I'm 10-4. I can't render aid. He's still moving and the gun's underneath him.
Okay.
Diaz-Austin then asks dispatch if he should render aid. He's told to stand by.
Do you know where he was shot?
In the face, in the chest, his arm, and I believe in the back of the head, like the top of his head area.
Today, the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office charged the deputy with first-degree murder.
I got no pulse anywhere.
Madison Connor, KRQE, News 13.
All right, let's break this down bit by bit and check this out. Otero County Sheriff. I'm going to see if I can get this on another video. Shooting. I appreciate you sending this. All right. Let's see.
An Otero County Sheriff's deputy is now facing
the same video. I want the video without the news, but we could still do this anyways up to this point.
An Otero County Sheriff's deputy
hitting.
All right. So what we have is you're driving down a road, and this is going to be this doesn't sound like anybody called this in. It sounds like this is something he observed on scene. You're looking at it's 23 hours, 12 hours, so it's 11:12 at night, and you got a subject walking in the median of the road, so not even on the right side, which you would think more people would be traveling, walking on the outer shoulder. So number one, that's just unusual. It's not suspicious. It's just unusual. It is what it is. You have every right now, because lawfully, you don't have to. You have no. I don't know what their law is. Pedestrian in roadway. Well, technically, he's not in the roadway. He's not obstructing traffic. He's not endangering. Doesn't seem to be any cars on the road. So I don't know if you have a lawful reason for a stop, but it doesn't mean you can't make a contact just to see if the person's okay. And if you actually hear the deputy, he does not sound. He's not making any asshole-ish, get the fuck down, but he doesn't sound like he's showing up with Johnny pair of fucking 10-pound bowling balls for a sack. Let's listen to how he sounds when he makes contact.
Stop right there, bro. Stop. Stop.
Couple different things raise a red flag. Okay, you see the squad car, and I don't know if they have the flashing lights. I would assume so. Let's take a look again.
Stop.
Yeah, you can see the lights are flashing. So that would automatically, if this did, let's just say this went the other way and this guy was taken into custody, he would be under the impression that those activated overhead lights were indication of him being seized, right? So, and it's apples and oranges right now. So you could do this. Hey, what's going on, man? How are you? The fact that he's still walking, I'm thinking impaired, drunk, not paying attention. Okay, walking on the side of the roadway. Now it might be a safety issue. Hey, are you all right? Where are you going? And let me give you a ride somewhere. They could refuse a ride. I do not know at that point if the cop could say, no, I got to drive you somewhere, got to pick you up. He's not really in danger. He's not wearing dark clothing and he's off the roadway. So, it's one of those things where do you really have the right to take somebody into custody for safety precautions if you can articulate that they're a danger to themselves? But we don't have that right now. If the guy was drunk, yeah, you could flat out say, shit, intoxicated pedestrian, I'm driving him home. Don't even arrest him, just drive him home because he did the responsible thing by walking. So as he's walking, because he's not listening, let's listen.
Stop. Stop right there.
Video shows Hadley stop and lift his hand to cover his eyes as the
That means nothing because he's got a bright damn light shining in his eyes.
deputy asks if he's all right.
Are you all right?
What are you doing? Let me see your other hand, bro. Let me see your other hand, dog.
Boom. Right there. With once he's got this hand covered up. So number one, he doesn't know what is in the deputy doesn't know what's in his other hand, right? And the guy just produced what looks like a pistol. And if he's that close, which is much closer than we get a view from a vantage point, that's a pistol. There's no misidentifying it with that much light, and he can see it. And you have, in my opinion, that is all it takes right there for the deputy to lawfully use deadly force. What is he supposed to wait until the guy takes the position of the pistol from this to this? It's in his hand. He didn't say, officer, just let you know, I have a pistol here. I'm going to keep my hands like this and not damn move. Don't know what the intent of this person is. What is the deputy supposed to do? Wait for this person to open fire? In my opinion, now here's something too that I learned from Force Science Institute did an article on this quite a while ago. There was a study done on why people were shot in the back by police. And I want to apply that for this. And I don't know what the status of this is, but I hope to God this guy's defense attorney had better say this. Force Science Institute, I'm paraphrasing what the article was about. So they were saying, how come all these cops are shooting these people in the back? This is not lawful. And what Force Science Institute had shown was that from the time the human being, who's a cop, sees the action that is being done and it sends the information into their brain, and the brain says, oh, this is a deadly force circumstance. I have to draw my pistol and I have to wind up firing downrange. With the second they start firing, when the person drops the weapon, turns around and runs, it could be a nanosecond, but that information hasn't registered to the cop's brains yet. And he's not terminating firing the pistol, not because, oh, I see the back, but because he hasn't recognized it, hasn't registered yet that, oh, it's just think of it as a delay. Think of it as like a 5-second delay or a fifth of a second delay, whatever the article said it was. It's like bam, bam, bam. He's turning around. Oh, I have to stop shooting. And then it keeps going because it's already engaged due to fight, flight, tunnel vision, auditory exclusion, all the factors that a cop goes through. And now all of a sudden your brain is telling you stop firing, but the person has already begun the motion of turning. So if we have this here, that has to apply in the same thing. Let's listen for the gunshots. I want to hear how many seconds it takes for this to happen.
Let me see your other hand, dog.
1, 2.
Hadley tosses a gun to the side as the deputy fires 4 times, hitting Hadley.
It applies right there. It was 2 seconds. So by the time that cop sees that here it is, here's a pistol, and he draws and starts firing, the guy is in the process of throwing the weapon out, but we don't see that. The cop, his brain doesn't, you got to go to Force Science Institute. They have to be called in for a witness to back up that what this officer did, as far as what his perception of the threat was done, was 100% lawful and justified. He sees, he might have exited his vehicle and had his pistol comfortably. Hey, what's going on? You're walking on the roadway? All right, great. I'm by myself. X, Y, Z. Let's hear it again.
What are you doing? Let me see your other hand, bro. Let me see your other hand.
Right when you do that, when he says, let me see your other hand, 100% he's either got his pistol drawn or his hand is on his pistol in the holster.
Let me see your other hand, dog.
Okay, right there. I mean, jeez. Right there, you're going to say, let me see your other hand. I've got my hand on my pistol. Hey, I'm going to take concealment because it's not really cover behind the door of the squad car, but I'm going to be like out a little bit, right? Let me see, because it's a ditch. I'm not going to fall into the ditch on the side of the road. All right, let me see your other hand. All right, I got my hand. If I don't hear anything, I'm coming up right in the hunt. I'm going to be right ready. Boom.
Let me see your other hand, dog.
It's 2
Hadley
seconds.
tosses a gun to the side as the deputy fires 4 times, hitting Hadley.
42 bases, shots fired, shots fired.
Now it was later determined to be a BB gun. Hadley goes on to...
Okay, you got to go back to use of force. Does the officer know that during the time of the scene? It's Graham v. Connor. Does that officer have that information? How can you verify that's a BB gun? There's no way. You're not going to sit there, oh, let me see that. Let me check that out. Even if the guy says, it's just a BB gun, doesn't mean shit. Hey, it's just a BB gun. Oh, okay, I'm going to drop my guard. Just kidding. And then start shooting them. The first rounds that were shot, I am fine with those first rounds that were shot. Again, I want to go back to that again. The time that you see with this, based on the information, the totality of the circumstances, officers getting that information into his eyes, brain processing, let me see your other hand, takes his other hand, is going like this. Dude, you're going to be looking. You're going to see, boom, pistol is out, and then you're going to have those rounds fired.
Right there.
Video shows Hadley stop and lift his hand to cover his eyes as the deputy asks if he's all right.
What are you doing?
Just because you're asking you're all right, you're still, hey, you all right? And you're still using that concealment of light. The cop could be drawn down on him. You're not going to see it because you got that blinding light in your face. Those lights, you get your headlights, the overhead red and blues, the takedowns, and then the spotlight. You can't see shit coming back. That cop could be drawn down on him the entire time, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Let me see your other hand, bro. Let me see your other hand, dog.
Dude, right there.
Hadley tosses.
He has in that position right there. He could start firing 100%, and then by the time it's tossed away, those rounds are done. This first volley of shots, I am fine with this. This right now is a lawful shoot.
A gun to the side as the deputy fires 4 times, hitting Hadley.
42 bases, shots fired, shots fired.
Now it was later determined to be a BB gun. Hadley goes on to scream he's dying as Deputy Diaz Austin runs around to the passenger side to grab the first aid kit.
I'm not hit. Subject down.
You can hear Diaz Austin yell to Hadley not to move.
All right, let's look at intent as well. If he went to grab the first aid kit instead of doing nothing, you're looking how they charge him a first-degree murder. He does not have the intent to murder him. He is going to render aid.
Move or reach for the gun, or he will get shot again. Hadley.
Lawful orders. Do not reach for that fucking gun again. I will shoot you again. Just because they're shot doesn't mean the life-threatening behavior has been terminated.
Continues to yell, it's a BB gun, and rolls onto his stomach. The deputy then opens.
Okay, rolls on the stomach. Deputy doesn't know what he has underneath him. If he's got his arms there, because we can't see because there's no body camera footage, we don't know what this is like. Have no idea because, again, too, the deputy, once you shoot, you know, my God, it's going to be everything I said. All the sensory, all the senses are just taxed. Your auditory exclusion, you're going to be like tunnel vision, and you're not going to see. So the deputy didn't see what was in his left hand, just his right hand. So again, where there's one, there's two. Treat it like that, right? So you don't know that he doesn't have another pistol on him.
Fire again. And
that sounded like 6 or 8 shots. Hang on.
The deputy then opens fire again. And
that was 10. I counted 10. So he shot 10 times from there, which that's what you're trained to do. Dump a magazine into somebody, right? Was this subject reaching for the pistol? He told him not to. If he was, lawful shoot.
Later, firing 4 more shots.
I can't render aid. I'm 10-4.
The only thing would be, I don't know what caliber they use, if it's 9mm or if it's blood loss, and those studies have been debunked, I guess, where 9mm doesn't make half as much a difference as 45 caliber. If you're firing, so that's 10 shots and you have 14 rounds, he would have to change magazines. So if he's doing that, then Now I see where they're getting into the realm of intent. Well, but what if the job isn't done? How do we know? We don't know that all 14 rounds hit the target. You have no idea that. They could have been due to, the human body's nervous condition of adrenaline dump. Those rounds could have been off, dark conditions. Who knows what it is? So let's just say that a few rounds hit him and he's still moving. Yeah, magazine dump, change magazines, rack the slide back, chamber around, do it again if that's what it is required.
I can't render aid. He's still moving and the gun's underneath him.
Okay.
Diaz Austin then asked dispatch if he should render aid. He's told to stand by.
Do you know where he was shot?
Shut your mouth. Shut your fucking mouth. Right now, that's evidence that everybody who wants to string you up, they're going to use against you, and it's on a recorded line. So here's the problem. You're about to say where he was shot. Don't say how many rounds you fired because it's all recorded. So then later on, when they don't allow you to hear the recording before you testify and say, officer, how many rounds did you fire? This is what you need to say. I don't have that information. I do not recall. Is there anything that would help you refresh your memory? Listening to the audio of what I told dispatchers would. If you say I fired 10 rounds, but they have you on, I fired 14. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to string you up for lying. Well, officer, if you didn't know that you fired 14 rounds, how do you know what you did on scene? Command staff is there to fuck you over. You could do something very righteous. They will look to screw you over. Keep that in mind if you're a cop.
In the face, in the chest, his arm, and I believe in the back of the head, like the top of his head area.
Today, the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office charged the deputy with first-degree murder.
I got no pulse anywhere.
That requires intent. I don't know what the intent was. He wanted to render aid. He clearly went to render aid. I think this is massively overcharging.
Madison Connor, KRQE News 13.
The family told News 13 tonight in a statement they hope the DA's decision to charge the deputy is a step towards justice and, quote, the deputy shot Elijah 20 times. At least 15 of those shots came as he laid on the ground bleeding, unarmed and screaming in pain.
Yeah, well, so that means if he was laying on the ground bleeding and screaming in pain means he was still alive. And if he was still threatening the deputy by reaching for the pistol, then I don't see anything wrong with that. You want justice. What the fuck were you raising your kid to walk down a highway for in the middle of the night with a fake BB gun or fake pistol on him? What was that all about? You parented wrong. You fucked up. The deputy, based on the totality of what I saw, the first shots, nothing was wrong. That was completely lawful. Based on the information, like I said, from that study from Force Science Institute, based on the way the human perception and the eye and the brain processes information, no. By the time it comes up, you start fucking firing. By the time he throws it away, your brain's going to go, okay, it's time to stop firing. But if he continued after wanting to render aid, he immediately went to his passenger side, grabbed out the first aid kit, and then goes to return and looks to render aid and fires, that's because the subject was not complying with the lawful orders not to reach the weapon. That, unless, outside of that, I have no idea what you're charging for. I hope this deputy is cleared. In my opinion, this is a lawful shoot, and it doesn't matter how many times he shot the subject. The subject was still in the action of life-threatening behavior in a perceived manner what the deputy had seen it, and the subject failed to comply. It's as simple as that. I'm going to take a look at the other video that you wound up sending. All right, let's go to this one again. I appreciate this, Daniel, for this. Guys, if you want to talk about these, go ahead. 708-982-0974. After I do this, we will open this up and have a discussion.
Exclusive investigation. A former sergeant and a former deputy from the Lee County Sheriff's Office break their silence and explain what they say happened during an arrest that got them and another deputy fired. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lois Tomey.
I'm Chris Safati. Sheriff Carmine Marcino announced their terminations on Facebook in October, writing, quote, use of force was not properly reported and documented. Sergeant Christopher Meyer and Deputy Bradley Davidson were both fired for conduct unbecoming a law enforcement officer, untruthfulness in reports, and for lack of job knowledge and performance. On top of that, Meyer was also fired for improper use of force. Marcino claimed a criminal investigation is underway and didn't answer our questions about it. Wink News investigative reporter Celine MacArthur digs into the arrest that led to the firings and has the video that's at the center of this investigation.
Look at Sheriff Carmine Marcino's Facebook post, and you'll also see he shut down your ability to comment or ask questions. I wanted to look.
I don't know if that's lawful. If you're an elected official and it's a government page, that could be criminal in itself.
Learn more, but LCSO won't release the case file because there's an open criminal investigation. I also asked LCSO for an interview with the sheriff, but they have not provided me with an answer. In the meantime, I do have an exclusive copy of the Internal Affairs summary for former Sergeant Christopher Meyer. He says he gave it to me to back up his story about what happened to 45-year-old Corey Samick during the arrest that got him fired. It's 2 a.m. August 17th. LCSO deputies Alexander Ritchie and Brad Davidson are on the scene of a traffic stop near this gas station at Kingston Drive and Palm Beach Boulevard in Tice. Sergeant Meyer drives up to check on them.
I hear yelling in the background, like people yelling at each other, and I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Meyer says Samick, who appears drunk, approaches them carrying an open can of the alcoholic beverage, Twisted Tea.
In Deputy Ritchie's face, cursing him out, yelling at him. He's continuing to threaten to fight me.
Telling us to take our vests off, telling us to take our gun belts off, and wanting to fight us in the middle of the street.
Meyer asked Samick to leave.
We typically try not to arrest people for very minor county ordinance if we can help it. So we're trying to get rid of this guy. Just telling him to move on, get out of here, leave us alone.
Samick won't go. Meyer goes into the gas station to see if the night manager wants him removed from the property. The sergeant gets a yes to the trespass, but still can't convince Samick to leave.
I go, if you don't go, you're going to jail. That's the last warning. After that, I have to do something. And he continues. I'm not leaving.
What happens next is captured on the gas station's surveillance camera. Meyer tells me he went back 4 days later with his personal cell phone to record the 45 seconds you're about to see. A video he says he provided to LCSO and the state attorney's office.
I go to grab his hand. He's facing me. I'm probably closer than you and I are right now. I mean, as close as you can get to where I can reach out and actually touch you. He yanks away. I don't know if when he turns, if he's going to swing at me or not. I punch him before he can do that.
Meyer then grabs Samick and takes him to the ground.
It wasn't a clean takedown because he's resisting me. So I sort of stumble, I take him down and I fall basically on top of him.
What you can't see in Meyer's zoomed-in recording is deputies Ritchie and Davidson standing feet away, watching. Ritchie tells LCSO investigators he was, quote, evaluating where he could be best used to assist. Davidson says he, quote, did not see how it would make a positive effect.
Do you think you did anything wrong?
I could have acted a little quicker in helping Sergeant Meyer detain him. I could not have prevented any injury because I never explicitly watched any injury-causing behavior.
So I'm wrestling with this guy, and I'm giving him orders to give me his hands. And I give him multiple strikes. I give him probably 3 strikes in the torso areas. He doesn't stop, still trying to throw me off of him. So I continue, I give him a couple more, 2 or 3. Stop again, give him another opportunity. Give me your hands. Nope, gave him a couple more. The other guys in this quick ordeal come up behind and help me dig his hands out. We put him in the car. That was the last time that we saw him, or last time that I saw him.
I found Samick at the gas station. He didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but talked to me about what happened. I showed him the surveillance video. Samick argues it's proof he didn't resist and claims at least another one of Meyer's punches you see him throw landed on his face. LCSO Defensive Tactics Coordinator Captain Scott Griffith deemed the level of force used by Meyer in the video, quote, appeared to be in accordance with LCSO policy and procedures. However, had Davidson and Ritchie intervened, it, quote, could have potentially prevented further injuring Mr. Samick. Samick also tells me and LCSO investigators the use of force didn't stop there, claiming he was struck by 4 deputies while handcuffed.
There was not a strike, not one, where he was handcuffed and secured.
But Meyer and Davidson can't prove that with the video Meyer chose to record on his personal cell phone. The IA summary shows that Samek was handcuffed at 2 a.m., but he wasn't removed from the gas station and taken to the hospital until 3 a.m. So there is 1 hour that's unaccounted for, and the gas station video is long gone. So
yeah, that's going to be a witness statement taking, cleanup, evidence. You could be there for a lot longer than an hour than that.
the potentially incriminating or exonerating evidence is gone for good.
It's better than nothing. Because if we didn't have that video, they'd be going off of strictly his word.
The amount of time that is unaccounted for is simply...
Well, number one, let me break this down. I've never seen fucking use of force video where cops didn't fucking use force. You can look at the number one, if you look at the demeanor of these guys, it makes complete sense why when you listen to this guy, why he didn't go hands on. He doesn't have testosterone. I mean, this guy is really not that masculine. Holy shit. I've never seen this where it's like, yeah, we have a problem. We have cops who didn't use force. I want to break this down. So it's a drunk they see. Already if they're saying, hey, listen, we don't want to do anything. These are not cops who are looking to get into a fight. They're cops who are not looking to you got Hillbilly Jim, who's drunk off his ass, looking for a fight. That still, he's, going to be an ass. Drunk muscles are fun. It is what it is.
A video he says he...
If you look at this, how this sergeant is, if you look at his body language, he's not threatening. He's not leaning in. He's not getting in this guy's face. He's imploring. Would you please just go? Look at his body language as he talks to this guy.
Later with his personal cell phone to record the 45 seconds you're about to see. A video he says he provided to LCSO and the state attorney's office.
I go to grab...
Look how gentle he goes to go hands-on, too. This guy is not looking for a fight. He's gently going to take this person into custody. This cop could have been fed up with this guy's bullshit, just wanted to have his coffee. It's night. I want to go hide behind a building somewhere and just surf my phone and shit. But now he's got to make an arrest because the store owner doesn't want him there. This cop gave him every chance. And if you look at it again, look at his body language and then look at how gingerly he goes to take him into custody. This cop is not looking to give someone the beatdown.
With his personal cell phone to record the 45 seconds you're about to see. A video he says he provided to LCSO and the state attorney's office.
I go to grab his hand. He's facing me. I'm probably closer than you and I are right now. I mean, as close as you can get to where I can reach out and actually touch you. He yanks away. I don't know if...
Yanking away is resisting. It is. And if this guy if this cop is one-on-one and the guy has been belligerent, he's already made the statement, I want to fight you. If his fist is balled up, yes, you can use a striking technique, a stunning technique to change the direction of how this is going to go to get him in handcuffs. A punch, nothing unlawful about that. He's already made a statement he wants to fight. This cop has given him multiple excuses, reasons to leave. The guy doesn't want to, clearly indicating, hey, take me into custody. I want to fucking fight. The cop has to do his job, takes him into custody, in my opinion, very softly. He was not direct enough in that content. You just saw him go right down. Very, very softly for the cuffs. And then he issues a striking tactic to change the guy's state to put him in cuffs.
He yanks away. I don't know if when he turns, if he's going to swing at me or not. I punch him before he can do that.
Meyer then grabs Samek.
Perfect takedown. I have no problem with this whatsoever, especially when you're by yourself.
And takes him to the ground.
It wasn't a clean takedown because he's resisting.
No takedowns are clean. That was fine. That takedown was completely fine.
So I sort of stumble, I take him down, and I fall basically on top of him.
What you can't see in Meyer's zoomed-in recording is deputies Ritchie and Davidson standing feet away, watching. Ritchie tells LCSO investigators he was, quote, evaluating where he could be best used to assist.
So he's fucking lazy.
Davidson says he, quote, did not see how it would make a positive effect.
So he shouldn't have been a cop in the first place.
Do you think you did anything wrong?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I didn't show up and do my job, and I let another cop do all the work, which probably put this man's life in a little bit more harm's way because the cop had to punch him too many times because I should have showed up and done some fucking work.
Have acted a little quicker.
100%. Everybody they fired this guy because they were sick of him. This sergeant, I don't know. To me, I'll give you my opinion in a second.
In helping Sergeant Meyer detain him. I could not have prevented any injury because I
know that sergeants do not have union protection. I think that's the case. I think with the other two, or whoever else was fired, they were looking for a reason, clearly, because they don't work. If this sergeant was doing the right thing by giving this guy multiple opportunities to go home, hey, you're drunk, go home. A lot of departments don't like that. They want the person arrested because it increases the numbers to show, hey, we're doing our job. We're getting the drunks off the street. Hey, look, the police care. And they can justify its community caretaking. Well, you took him into custody because if he didn't, he could have gone home. He could have broken into somebody's home, could have, robbed somebody's dog out of their yard, could have set the car on fire. But you did the right thing by taking him into custody. I've never seen this. I've never seen two cops stand around while one cop is taking somebody into custody on the ground. I've never seen this. This is insane.
I never explicitly watched any injury-causing behavior.
So I'm wrestling with this guy, and I'm giving him orders to give me his hands. And I give him multiple strikes. I give him probably...
Giving him strikes because it looks like the guy has the cop around the neck.
3 strikes.
Looks like he's
in
holding
the torso areas.
It looks like he's holding on, like around the cop's neck.
Stop. Still trying to throw me off of him. So I continue. I give him a couple more. 2 or 3. Stop again. Give him another opportunity. Give me your hands. Nope. Gave him a couple more.
Yeah, the guy got injured because these other cops, all they had to do was take this guy's wrist, put his hands in the handcuffs, and then that sergeant would not have had to strike the subject so many times. I don't know why the sergeant is fired, other than being the scapegoat. The other two, yeah, they need to go. Oh my God, they're the ones who are going to show up in your home, and you got your drunk dad destroying the home, beating everybody with a fire poker. The cops are going to stand and go, I don't see the tactical advantage to going hands-on or drawing my pistol for this. Let's see how this turns out. Yeah, those two got to go. I don't know what this sergeant was taken into custody for, or was fired for.
The other guys in this quick ordeal come up behind and help me dig his hands out. We put him in the car. That was the last time that we saw him, or last time that I saw him.
I found Samek at the gas station. He didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but talked to me about what happened. I showed him the surveillance video. Samek argues it's proof he didn't resist and claims at least...
Yeah, it's not proof he didn't resist. If you pull away, if you tense up, that's all by definition resisting. And if you're not going to go in a cut, which is an automatic fight or flight response from the body, and especially if you're drunk, you have no control over it. It's a pain in the ass, trust me.
Another one of Meyer's punches you see him throw landed on his face. LCSO Defensive Tactics Coordinator Captain Scott Griffith deemed the level of force used by Meyer in the video, quote, appeared to be in accordance with LCSO policy and procedures.
As a single person taking somebody into custody, and if that was his arm, the subject's arm wrapped around the officer's neck from behind, then yes, 100% start punching away till the guy complies.
However, had Davidson and Ritchie intervened, it, quote, could have potentially prevented further injuring Mr. Samek.
They're the ones to blame.
Samek also tells me and LCSO investigators the use of force didn't stop there, claiming he was struck by 4 deputies while handcuffed.
There's no fucking way 4 deputies handcuffed. They didn't want to do shit to begin with. Now all of a sudden they're just going to punch you when you're handcuffed? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Not a strike, not one where he was handcuffed and secured.
But Meyer and Davidson can't prove that with the video Meyer chose to record on his personal cell phone. The IA summary shows that Samek was handcuffed at 2 a.m., but he wasn't removed from the gas station and taken to the hospital until 3 a.m.
That doesn't matter. That is not that much time at all to pass. Got him in the back of the squad car. The squad car camera is activated to record the subject in the back to make sure they're not trying to escape or take drugs out of their pockets or get their handcuffs out and swallow shit. And then you're going to have to get witness statements. You're going to have to, most of the time, what's going to happen is you're going to fill out that trespassing complaint on scene. And then you're going to go inside and you're going to have the owner sign the complaint. Then you got to sign, you got to have them fill out a witness form. So if it's whatever time, 2 a.m. and the guy's got 5 customers, it's going to take him 10 or 15 minutes to start writing out that sheet of a witness form. And then at the same time, you have to write verbatim what the complaint says. And I don't know if they use computers now. This is how it was in my day. You'd have to write down, as per statute, blah, blah, blah. You have to get out the statute code. And then you have to, verbatim, word for word. And then you have to substitute the subject's name in there. Fill it out. The subject's name, date of birth. Then you got to get their name, date. You got to run them. Once you get them in custody, take their information, run them through dispatch, wait for them to clear, get warrants. And you could do all that in the process, but it's the statements and it's everything else. So you got to clean yourself off. He's wrestling around. He's going to go wash himself up. An hour is nothing. An hour is nothing. So you can easily justify what happened on scene between the time he was there and the time he was transported.
So there is 1 hour that's unaccounted for.
No, it's not.
And the gas station video is long gone. So the potentially incriminating or exonerating evidence is gone for good.
It's better than nothing. Because if we didn't have that video, they'd be going off of strictly his word.
The amount of time that is unaccounted for is simply us doing paperwork.
An action Davidson
What'd I just say? God, I should have been a cop.
admits he can't prove. He also challenges whether Samek was really hurt during his arrest.
I didn't recall seeing any.
And I'm going to tell you flat out, unless they had the squad car camera footage, I would not put it past a guy like that to start smashing his own head into the squad car anywhere he could, up against the screen, up against the window, up against the hard plastic of the door, up against the seat. It does not. There are people who do shit like that to get a payday.
Any medical expert weigh in on the stage of those fractures and in what stage of healing?
You mentioned like his level of healing. Are you saying it could have happened before you guys had encountered him?
Several transients in the area that know him have reported to us on more than one occasion he is often getting in fights.
You saw him for 10 minutes before that happened. You guys kept going back and forth trying to de-escalate. Did he look like he had injuries to his face when that was happening?
No, but I can't see. I don't have an X-ray machine. I can't see inside.
Yeah, you can get punched in the face with nothing visual. That's not uncommon at all.
Face.
The IA summary does not offer a conclusive explanation for Samek's injuries, which include fractures to his jaw.
If this is his left side of the face or the right side of the face that's injured, I can't picture unless he's turning like this. He's got his arm like this. He's turning like this, and he's getting blows like that. Okay, but it's interesting.
And right orbital area.
So I don't know. I can't testify as to what maybe happened in the car. If he was banging his head in the car at some point.
I should have been a fucking cop, man. Holy cow, am I good?
Despite the findings and unanswered questions in the IA summary, Meyer and Davidson don't believe they should have been fired.
And it was always...
No, you on the right, yeah, you should be fired. You should be. This sergeant, I don't have a problem with what he did.
Projected at the sheriff's office that if you get into something and you get called into IA or you get called in by a supervisor, and if you tell them the truth and you tell them this is why, that they will take care of you.
I asked 3 independent law enforcement experts.
You just learned the hard way, son. Command staff. Oh my God, I should be on this panel. Panel of the fucking graybeards. Look at this. Yeah.
To review the information and evidence we've been able to collect. Dave Benson retired as Director of Law Enforcement Training for the United States State Department in Washington, D.C. Jim Durain is a retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent, and Jeff Myers is the former Fort Myers Police Deputy Chief. They all believe Marcino's decision to fire the deputies was reasonable.
And they may not like it. But
and you're all cocksucking politician brass who really forgot exactly what it's like to be a street cop, which is why I do this content, because people like you are so biased. You have alienated yourself from what the job is, which is why these cops do it too worse, too shitty, and why people hate cops, because people like you don't have their backs when they do shit lawfully. From that information we just saw, there was no reason to terminate the sergeant on duty. None. From the other ones... The other ones who stood by, yes, get rid of them. They're a liability to the other officers on the department. But the hour unaccounted for, easy. Report writing, paper, witness statements, cleanup, you name it. The handcuffed thing, you can't prove it. Can't prove it. So now if you have no witnesses and it's just a word of a subject versus the word of the officers, you know what? It's moot. And then you don't know what injuries he had if people were saying he was in fights earlier. You guys, you brass, I keep telling you, police brass is the root of all problems in law enforcement, and you're all cocksuckers.
But sometimes the truth hurts. You can't behave this way.
He
and
behaved
expect
fine.
That everything's going to be just fine. You have a mugshot.
Yeah, you should have. That was completely, it was justifiable force. Those strikes were not wound up. Those were short, controlled bursts of energy from his fist that are not going to do that much damage because where he's punching him, he's laying down. How often do we see guys in MMA punching from a position? It doesn't do that much damage.
It looks like someone's been pummeled. And there's no explanation for how that got there.
There are many different techniques to use. They don't all involve force. The guy's hands were down the whole time. He did not make a threatening gesture.
I question why the other officers did not get.
Yeah, because it takes nothing from go to this right away, right? God, you fucking lazy brass. Just shut up, man. Push your pencils, write up the paperwork, do whatever. You good old boys.
Involved and just kind of stood by. It opens up a lot of questions of what actually went on that evening.
Coming up tomorrow on Wink News, the three law enforcement experts discuss what they say was the biggest mistake made during the use of force arrest. They also weigh in on a video of Sheriff Carmine Marcino that I got exclusively from a source where he appears to be sharing his view on use of force. I'm investigative reporter Salim MacArthur, and that is a story you will only see on Wink News.
Yeah, that's... No, the sergeant, I don't think he should have been fired at all. If anybody ever has contact to any of these people, could send it. Send my shit, man. I hope to God it could be used in their defense. And I'll be more than happy to testify on their behalf based on my background when it comes to that shit. I'm going to take some of your calls here. But yeah, the other two should have been fired. That guy shouldn't.
Hi, this is Harold.
Yeah, John in the chat. If you paid attention, the one deputy said that it was well known that he was somebody who liked to get in fights, and it was a possibility he was in a fight earlier. So we got to keep up with the chat, my brother. All right, 661 area code, giving you a call. Chris Allen, the sergeant, should be the only one fired. Dear Lord, you hate cops, and it shows.
Hi, this is Harold.
Oh, wait, are some of you over in the comments section losing your shit today because I'm actually defending law enforcement? What did you think this channel was about? Confirmation bias for what you enjoy? I don't give a shit if you hate the police. I'm here to tell you the truth about law enforcement. I'm here to defend the profession righteously. And sometimes, believe it or not, cops do the right thing. So Tom just proclaims in the comment section, he unsubscribed. Tom, while you're unsubscribed, go scrub your mother's ass at the same time. Good for you. There are times where these videos, this content and my words are going to ruffle your feathers and upset you, and that's fine. I really don't care. I am not here to please any of you. I'm here to put the truth about law enforcement. I'm here to put the fucking truth about what this job is and expose the people flat out what the nature is to change cop culture, period. That's it. 661, I gave you a call twice. Let's see what you have to say, though. I think you have a voicemail.
Hey, Dominic. Listen, I would like to participate tonight and talk
we
to
already
you
talked about that. Never mind. All right, we already talked about that. Guys, man, if you're upset in the comment section, Josephine Pacelli, Tom, I also unsubscribed in all caps. Josephine, you and Tom, you guys can go blow each other in the chat. I really don't care. Yeah, holy shit. Wow, you guys are really upset over the fact that I'm defending cops over something. What would you rather have? You would rather have people that actually wound up beating the shit out of people and deal with it? What is going on, Mr. Chambers?
Hey, Dom. How you doing, brother?
Good. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I just wanted to say real quick, again, great broadcast. Viewers have to realize in higher end and especially use of force situations like this, it is CYA against your fellow officer, fellow corrections officer, parole officer, whatever, as well as brass, right? Brass now has to protect themselves. There's things on low levels we know, command staff may have your back on. You fell asleep, a pedestrian says something, you're in a parking lot maybe. But when it comes to this, it's you versus the world, and half of the world is your command staff. So I just hope people start getting that.
They don't. It blows me away. It blows me away how many people get upset at the fact that, that I say it all the time, how many that police brass is the root of all problems in law enforcement, and you do the job righteously, and end of story. So I would love to see what people are commenting on when it comes down to what the cops should have done. I appreciate your call, man. It's great to talk to you.
Absolutely, brother. Yep.
All right, take care.
Right. Good broadcast, bro.
Thanks. Yep. Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
Brass is the root of all problems.
Hey,
What's
live.
What?
I didn't catch that. I'm listening, and I guess there must be a delay. Listen to this, and a lot of the guys there in your chat don't like what you're saying.
Welcome to my world. A lot of people don't like what I'm saying all the time. I don't care about agreeing or disagreeing. It blows me away the sensitive people who can't hear the truth about, I'm unsubscribing. Wow, I'll lose sleep.
They need to get over it. I've been watching you for a while, and this is the first time I've ever called in. I'm a person who has many stories that are negative with police officers and many that are good. And so I'm not a person who, I think I like what you're saying because you're trying to improve upon the problems.
I shit on cops all the time. I will call out bad cops, and people have a problem with this, and I don't care when they actually do stuff that they're sadly authorized to do. If the state allows them to do, people can't stand it. Until we come up with a day where everybody carries like the phaser you can set for stun, and just everybody gets stunned, and that's it. Then the problem's solved. And it's like you get a barking dog complaint, stun. All of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm arguing, stun. Juvenile complaint, stun. Start stunning everybody. Then it'll be fine. End of story.
Yeah, I've had crazy situations going back to my teenage years, which I'm trying to write them in some stories, but where I had officers plant guns in my car, try to shoot me. I was 16 in some of these cases, and then throughout my life, I came close to joining a police force at one time, and I had many friends that were police officers. So I just don't like when the police are bad. I want good law enforcement. I live in a town, Benbrook, Texas, and I think for the most part, we have a pretty good force here. I just haven't had a lot of interactions with them lately. But I can tell you Fort Worth, Texas, in the past was just a bizarre place to be.
I bet.
From my experience.
I bet. Well, I know a couple of Fort Worth officers. They're good guys. So I appreciate the call. And
Fort Worth has always been pretty good. I have nothing bad to say about Fort Worth.
No, I don't
either. This is
either.
the first time calling in, and I'm trying to watch more of you, so I'll keep watching you. Really excited to get a chance to say something to you live. I think this is a great format. Keep doing it.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Over in the chat, T. Bishop, Justice, what did you say? You said, I don't hate cops. Or Chris Allen says this, I'm sorry. Don't hate cops, just ones that abuse their power. Cops solicited trespass, is that legal? So you're asking if he went to the store owner, said, do you want him arrested for trespass? And you're saying, is that legal? Yes, as a public servant, you're going to the owner of the store and say, what would you like me to do? Yes, and here's what I can do. I can arrest him for criminal trespass to property. You have to sign a complaint. Are you willing to do that? Of course it's legal. Well, what would you like him to do? Just sit there and wait for somebody to say, oh, I'm gonna Google what you could do. And then while the guy's pissing all over the side of my building and scaring people away and throwing my trash all over the place, he's not harming anybody. Guys, you got to have a reality check on some shit. It's about law and order and whatnot. Ordinary man, I appreciate that. That's it. That's all I offer is an honest damn opinion about what this job is, and it's going to upset many of you, and I can't help that. I just can't. Patriot G. The problem with training education and qualified immunity. If these pigs were personally liable, it would change overnight and they would start getting sued and or imprisoned. I agree with you. I've talked about that many times, but don't forget about the one thing they would do too. They'd stop working, which I'm fine with to a degree, because you got a neighbor problem. Let's say this is how society has gone the last several decades. And it's, if your neighbor, I don't know, they're always throwing their trash on your side of the lawn. What are you going to do after the 10th time of talking to them? You're going to call the police, right? Excuse me. And you're going to sit there and say, hey, I wish to God the cops can do something. What can they do? And then the cops are going to do nothing, maybe ticket them. But if the cops actually stopped arresting for frivolous shit and your neighbor kept throwing stuff on your driveway, you'd go over there and you'd, give them a dentist visit for free. Well, here's some teeth you could pick up. We don't do that anymore. We have become crybabies who constantly call the police for everything. So maybe if we went to personal liability insurance, individual liability insurance, and the cops stopped doing shit, we'd have to handle our own business, which, to be honest, I'd be fucking fine with that. Yeah, you're live. What's going on? Hello?
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Yeah, you got to lower the background. Can't hear you because I can hear myself in the background.
How are you talking to me at the same time?
I'm not. It's called a 25-second delay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know. You have. Can you turn
you know who I am?
No, I don't. You got to turn the background
You
down.
can't tell by my accent.
No.
I'm a New Yorker.
Oh my God. Did you vote for
I'm
AOC?
not on the media.
Did you vote for AOC?
Italian Sicilian from Brooklyn.
What can I do for you?
My name is Josephine. You don't like my comment?
No. What are you being a little bitch for by saying I'm going to unsubscribe in all caps?
Me.
No.
If I'm a little bitch and you're a little limp dick.
Well, currently, right now, I am.
I call it like it is.
Yeah, I am limp.
We watching the same videos, and I see you lying.
What's the lie, Josephine? Give
No,
us.
the kid that got shot. The kid that got shot.
Go ahead.
The BB gun was already out of his hand when that cop started
Did
shooting.
you see it? Did you see it on the video, Josephine?
I saw it. The kid dropped the BB gun, and then the cop started shooting him.
Right.
I saw it.
I already explained that, Josephine, the first part of the delay of response. Josephine, you got to be an adult. You got to listen because it's biology.
I am an adult. I'm 66 years old.
And out of 66, how many years did you serve as a police officer?
I didn't have to. My uncle was a New York City cop.
Oh, shit.
He told me what they do.
And my uncle was a dentist, so come over and they'll do a root canal on you.
Yo,
Right.
my uncle told me
Yeah.
he resigned from the force because it's not what he thought he was signing up for. He wasn't like them, and he educated me 100%. And everything that he said to me, the cops have been doing to me for 22 years.
I can't imagine why.
I have done nothing
can't
wrong.
imagine why.
You want to know why?
Why?
I moved into a two-family house on Long Island. I didn't know the other three adults were heavy-duty drug dealers. There were cars lined up down both sides of the street in my driveway. I couldn't get out my driveway. They were dealing right in front of my house.
Yeah.
Then they started damaging my car. I would call the police and call the police and go to the police station. They did nothing. You want to know why? The main drug dealer had two family members on the Suffolk County Police Force. One was a cop and one was a detective. Oh, and the landlord?
Mm-hmm.
He's best friends with the mayor's secretary.
And what year was this?
She was in on the drug dealing.
What year was this?
I lived 3 houses down from the mayor's office.
What year was this, Josephine?
This started 14 years ago.
Right. So in New York,
They
right?
haven't stopped.
In New York?
They haven't. Listen, they tried to kill me. They broke 5
Can't
of my
imagine why.
bones,
Yeah.
the nerve, tendons, and veins in both my hands
Right.
the first time they falsely arrested me.
Right.
To protect the drug dealer.
Sure.
To protect the drug dealer.
Yeah.
And
clearly all that you experienced. Well, I got a question. All that experience.
eye socket.
God, you are
fractured the
clearly
top of
single.
both
No
my
one would
teeth.
ever put up with this.
They broke the nerve,
Yeah.
tendons, and veins in both my hands. And listen, they all got away with it.
Well,
they went after all
maybe
four
you
of my
should have
children.
listened.
My
Sure.
2 family members and my best friend.
Right.
They tried to kill my son. When my youngest
Does he have a
daughter
mouth
just
like you?
turned 18, they
Right.
falsely arrested her.
Yeah.
They sexually assaulted her, strip searched her, body cavity searched her.
Yeah.
She just turned 18. How would you like that to happen to your daughter?
Well,
if
that's
you got
legal
one?
in some states. I mean, clearly,
And
Josephine,
then
you
the
have a
cops
bias,
tried
is
to
what we're
kill my
talking about. Yeah.
son.
Right.
They tried to kill my
What time is
son.
your shift at the diner?
Yo, I worked in the nursing field for over 30 years.
Sure.
I worked
You're
in
good at
studies
changing
with the Chief of
diapers.
Infectious Disease
Right.
Control for
Right.
2 years.
I get it.
I'm certified with the Board of Health. I'm certified with the
you
Red
are-
Cross.
yes, you are
I'm
certifiable.
certified in geriatric adult care.
Yes, you are, Josephine.
And I
yes,
bet you
are.
believe that COVID was a real epidemic, because it wasn't.
No, I don't give two shits about that. So basically, you have a clear bias on cops, and so they can never do anything right.
Clear
in your eyes.
bias?
I got it.
No, my uncle's words. Bad cops will not allow a good cop to stay on the force. Any cop that stays on the force for 2 to 3 years or longer is no longer a good cop, because the bad cops don't allow good cops to stay on the force.
What was your uncle fired for?
He resigned to save his life.
I'm sure he did.
And,
sure he
and
did. Yeah.
he also said, cops don't commit suicide. The bad cops will kill the good cop and his wife and children and blame it on murder-suicide. My uncle was very intelligent. He educated me
Clearly,
well.
the highest intelligent in your family, right? Yeah. The GED line stopped there. Hey, I appreciate this call. It was good information. Thanks for unsubscribing. You probably saved the rest of us a lot of brain cells. So I appreciate that. It was good to talk to you.
You seem to lie to cover up for cops.
Yeah, okay, I do. I'm going to lie right now, right? I think you're a wonderful
That's what I saw you
person.
doing
I think
tonight.
you're a wonderful person. You're an awesome. I appreciate you in the feed. Yeah.
Last time I watched your live,
Yeah.
I began to like you a little bit.
Please
but after
don't.
tonight,
Please don't.
I'm Marone.
Yeah, I know. Thank God. I know. Just I
There
already
is no God,
already
by
had
the
one.
way.
I know, there you,
Only a weak mind can be brainwashed.
Jesus Christ
into
is
the
my
belief of
Lord
a
and
God.
Savior. So there you go. Enjoy your night, Josephine. We could
You
do
need
this all
one.
night. There you go. I gotta go. You clearly need like another shot and maybe some penicillin for what those drug dealers put you through in order for you to pay your rent. All right, hang on a second. I gotta go through this call, guys. Josephine is gone. What are we gonna do with her? Wait, who? No, who did I just call? All right. Oh no, 973. I got to call you back.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry I missed your call. I was talking to Josephine. What's going on?
Yeah, I heard you talking to Josephine.
Dear Lord, what can I do for you?
I only had, I know everybody's harping on you for that last case, but I'm not going to do that.
If you have a difference of opinion, it doesn't bother me. I like disagreeing.
I had a little one. But
Sure.
I ain't even worrying about that. I'm not even worrying about that. I want to talk to you about the female police.
Yeah.
Just that one. There's one case that when you start talking about female cops and all of that, there's one case that always stood out in my mind. There's a video of it, and that was, I don't know if you saw it, Michelle Jeter.
Oh God, I played it the other day. Yep, I'll pull it up. Hang on. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Trooper Jeter. Oh my God. Yeah, with the she pulled over a Ford Aerostar and the guy didn't want to go back to prison.
Right. And what he did to her, oh my God. I never saw nothing like it.
Oh, this
She
is
quit
what.
after that.
Yeah, I saw this. I'm going to play this while you're on the phone. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to play this for everybody to watch. This video, this got me in my gut years ago when I first saw this, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is just more proof that I'm sorry, females are not equipped for this job."
Carthage, Texas, 5:39 p.m. Officer Michelle Jeter pulls over a speeding van. What should have been a routine traffic stop turns into a life or death struggle. Police say Jeter finds marijuana in the van and tries to arrest Jorge Danel Orozco.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the sounds.
But Christina Rosecope, already out on parole, does not want to go back to jail.
Christina, get in the car. Go, baby, I can't go to jail.
A Rosecope's 8-year-old daughter watches as her father beats Jeter.
He's on top of her, and he is full force body weight, raining down. I mean, those are deadly force strikes. You could hear
would have hurt a man.
They could have killed somebody. He looks at least 230 pounds, and he is in a perfect position, 230 pounds of force amplified, raining down on her. She was unconscious. You hear her moan as he makes contact with the first full-on blast, and then he just strikes and strikes and strikes. Yeah, that video is probably one of the worst I've ever seen.
Well, you had a man that was possessed, that he was not going back to prison, and he took every ounce of force he had against her, and that's another reason why I don't think females should be police.
No, that has always been.
I think a man could have held up a little better.
I think a man would have been a little bit more aware. And I know when you're a deputy or a trooper, your backup is not always there right away. And maybe she had a sense of urgency to take him into custody quickly. She didn't manage the scene very well. But if you're smaller, you got somebody bigger like that, keep him in the car, call for backup, period. She made a bad decision.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she could have paid for it with her life.
She almost did. But that's all I wanted to hit on tonight was why I think females shouldn't be police. I just don't think, like you say all the time, they don't have the strength. There's no way. Half the men in the world could put a hole in their face.
Yeah.
It's just, they just shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. I've been stopped by female police. And to me, it's embarrassing to be stopped by a female cop.
I'm at the point where I think, based on the mentality of female cops right now and the fact that they can easily justify how they jump up all the way to deadly force because they physically can't defend themselves the same way a man can, I would not feel safe. I would not feel safe being pulled over by a female cop. I would ask the same way women do. Can you call a supervisor over here? Just to let you know, I don't feel safe with you on a traffic stop alone. You're a woman. It's no disrespect to you, but it's the way the profession is. I would like another either a sergeant or another male cop on duty. I do not trust you to use proper use of force if you choose to go hands on. I don't feel fucking safe with you. I would say that easily.
I agree 100%. And the other thing I hate about him is that squeaky little voice. I cannot take when. Now listen. That's how they sound.
Hooks from Police Academy.
Yeah. I can't take it. Like when those two young girls, they look like high schoolers. They stopped another girl and they flipped the phony coin. And did you hear how they sounded when they talked?
I did, and that was disgusting. I got to find that video again, but I know what you're talking about. I appreciate the call, and I appreciate you disagreeing with me and still, traveling forward with me. I appreciate that.
Well, the world's made up of disagreements, so.
Wow. Good. That's a good way of thinking. That's it. If only more people had common sense like that, it'd be a better world. I appreciate your call. Thanks.
No problem.
505, got to call you back. And then I think...
Hello.
Hi, sorry I missed your call. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I don't know if your show is live still.
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay. Yeah, I called. Yeah, I think you're on the phone. I don't know if you're live right now.
Yeah, no, I am live. It's a 25-second delay, so just turn the background down.
Okay, give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, I was just calling because I saw that video you just played.
Say again?
Oh no, that's it. I was just looking at your. I've been watching your show, lady, and I agree with you as far as where it says females should be cops. Yeah. And I think that video you just played, I think proves a point that females should be cops. So.
Yeah, that video is. That video is hard to watch. So I mean, if that's what your opinion is, I appreciate you calling and letting us know.
But I have an officer in here in Colorado, Castilla County Sheriff's Office. I work down by Alamosa. So, reason why having you on the phone too, I was trying to see. I don't know if you travel the world, but we're looking for a guest speaker for our agency.
Yeah, I haven't done public speaking in a while, but sure, you can go ahead and contact me, email officerdominicizzo@gmail.com, or you can text me information to this line. And if somebody needs me for speaking engagement, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, if I can get the email address sent to me or text me or whatever, and I can set something up and see.
Sure, just
to the sheriff and see what we can do.
Yeah, text me your email address and I'll send you an email.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate your call.
All right, thank you.
All right,
no problem. Bye.
All right, hang on. 7-3, gotta call you back.
Hello.
Hi, sorry I missed your call. We're live still. What's going on?
Oh yeah, I think I have a bit of an idea of where somebody in the chat had a concern about. Is it legal to ask a property owner if they want a person trespass from their property?
Yeah, Chris Allen.
And I think what they're basing that on is a lot of the cop watcher videos. They might want to cover videotape a traffic stop that might be at a gas station or a convenience store. And they're standing on or near or about the property to record. And sometimes officers will go into the business and say, hey, do you want these guys trespassed? And I think half the time the store owners don't even know or care. And I think, the notion is that some people might think, oh, the store owner, he doesn't want any trouble with the cops. And so they're like, yeah, go ahead, trespass him. And I think that's kind of where that comes from, because they have the right to record. And I think a lot of property owners don't really care that much if they're there to do that. They might want to have them come in and buy something. But I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I think it'd be a big stretch versus somebody who's drunk, disorderly, and all the other elements. So like the First Amendment orders, that'd be stupid for cops to do that. So you want him trespass for what? He's just standing there recording? Yeah, that's a stretch. No, that makes sense to me. I understand that, but at the same time too, there's still nothing wrong with that.
No, I think if somebody's being silly on your property or froggy, you got to, you just say, yeah.
I missed the time, and that's where society's gone shit. You know what? Because it should be, if you're a gas station manager or employee or whatever, and somebody's acting like an asshole on your property, go out there and deal with it yourself. Get him out of there. But again, too, you do that, then that guy's going to call the police and go, I just got slapped around by the manager of the gas station here. So what? So the reason why there's so much stupid police use of force is because we stopped handling our own business. Because we started, and this is the soccer moms of the 90s started calling complaints about everything because Johnny and Jimmy got in a fight on the playground. Johnny and Jimmy hated each other. They both went home with black eyes, and mom freaked out. So now they got to call the school, but they don't realize that Johnny and Jimmy are now best friends. They're best fucking friends because they handled their business. And then dads didn't do shit because mom, if they disagree with mom, they're going to deny him the pussy now. So dad's going to say whatever your mother wants. Then all of a sudden it became, hey, better safe than sorry. So let's start calling the police to get their evaluation on shit instead of handling our business as kids and adults and fucking people in society. So yeah, the cops are just overworked with shit.
I remember I had my first and only fist fight, which was me. I was bullied a little bit, but I ended it quick, and I pushed back. And the next day he comes over with his friend. They want to fight me. And, I just pushed him away. I'm like, well, I'm not fighting you. And then a year later, we become the best of friends. We're still friends.
Isn't it amazing how that works? Every person I've ever had a physical confrontation with has developed as like a man I respect in my life, and it blows me away. Absolutely blows me away. Yeah. So, no, I appreciate the call. Thanks for clearing that up.
Oh, sure.
All right. Have a great night.
Okay, you too, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. That's about it. Josephine, appreciate you. Love you. Good luck dreaming about me tonight. I know I'm going to get that bed rocking with you and your bullet, your magic bullet. You're going to be thinking about me. You got 90 minutes of this video to play back, girl, and enjoy. And you got myself, you want to call me. Guys, enjoy this. Appreciate you guys participating. Wednesday nights, again, I want to change cop culture, and I just don't give a shit about you disagreeing with me in either part of this, right? Disagree all you want. That's what we're supposed to do. Don't be a big fucking baby. I'm unsubscribing. Thank God. Thank God. So, next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you share this stuff. Support the channel. Check out the links in the description of this video. Buy my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. Sponsor the channel through PayPal. I appreciate those who donated tonight. Thank you so much. You make this easier. I do want to get more involved, like that caller that called in about how to file a proper criminal complaint. I want to look into this kind of stuff. Speaking events, more shit that we could probably get some pounding the pavement movements done to call into place where you have righteous police that are doing the job well and they're protected, and then the shitbags out there who are not, we expose them like crazy. That's it. And lady cops, seriously, grow the fuck up or get off the job. You're going to wind up hurting yourselves or others. And we just have a saturated industry of children who are playing dress-up police for social media than actually doing the job out that they swore an oath to.